think we're very close to doing something with China, but I don't know that I want to do it because what we have right now is billions and billions of dollars coming into the United States in the form of tariffs or taxes. So I really don't know, but I will tell you that I think China wants to make a deal. I'm open to making a deal, but frankly, I like the deal we have right now.
So that was President Trump earlier today before he left for Argentina. Will he come home with a deal from Buenos Aires, though? Brian Wesbury joins us now, First Trust Advisors, where he's chief economist. Yep. Joins us from out in Chicago. You know, it's interesting, Brian, Melissa was saying earlier it feels like that's a president in the midst of a negotiation who really might be close to a deal. I think the markets hope that's what it is. I guess the one thing that stood out to me, though, that I thought was a little odd is that why is the president essentially kind of bragging about the billions of dollars coming in from tariffs when at the end of the day, that's you and I, the American consumer, who are you know, picking up the tab on that, right? It's a little odd. What did you think of that?
Well, it is, but isn't it kind of Trumpian in a way?
Yes.
He never lets the pressure up, and that's one of the things that's fascinating because we've lived with these bureaucrats for all these decades who really have never sat down across the table from somebody and made $1 billion deal, real estate deal, or anything like that. And their first instinct is to not want to create trouble. And where Trump just keeps the pressure on. And Connell, you know, here's an interesting fact, and hardly anybody knows it, and I don't know why it's not being reported, but China has already cut tariffs on their side on 1,500 different goods. They've gone from an average tariff rate of 9.8 in 2017 to now an average tariff rate of 7.5, and I've read statements from some of their economists that they want to go down to about 3%, which would be reciprocity.
So they are moving.
The same tariffs that we have.
They are. I mean, Xi Jinping's speech that he gave recently also, and even not even only his last speech, but his last few, I mean, he sounds, at least in rhetoric, kind of like the free trader, and everybody's, he doesn't mean it. But you think he sort of does? He's ready to cut some sort of a bigger deal? Yeah,
so, I mean, one thing we know, and I don't want to pick on China this way. No, but nobody likes to lose face. But it seems to be one thing that China has done over the years is capitulating in public is one thing, but doing it quietly behind the scenes is another thing. And they're doing it. They're already cutting tariffs. So in a way, and I know this is a Trumpian word, but President Trump is winning already. Tariffs are coming down from China. And in the end, that's the goal that he's said he wanted.
Let me ask you this then. If you're right, if he's winning already and he's making progress already, is he close to a point, he being the president, where he can, quote unquote, declare victory and kind of say, hey, I made the progress and let's walk away with X, Y, and Z. We're not going to get everything we need, or do you think he really puts the hammer down on them?
Yeah, I think this is kind of interesting. Clearly, he's putting the hammer down now, especially with that comment, boy, we're collecting billions of dollars. I'm going to put 25% tariffs on $200 billion worth of goods. That's the hammer. But there's got to be a carrot somewhere. But behind the scenes, too, Connell, and I mean, I hate to muddy the waters here, but we know China has been in the business of stealing technology from the West. And that really has to stop. And I think that's the real end goal of all of this.
Yes.
And so my belief is that if there's an announcement, it will be more as if both sides are winning because that's really you
they have
can't
to
have
save face. No, I get it. And then we have to, exactly. No, we'll see if that would be huge this weekend. Just from the point of view of financial markets and everything else, put it behind us or at least to the side for a while. We'll see. We got to go now, Brian. It's always good to have you, by the way. It's always good to have your insight.
Great to be with you, Connell.
Good talk. Okay.